Hello there, today I'm going to do a small video on the sign language of spirit and how you can ask for specific signs to help spirit to guide you or to help them to communicate with you. The sign language of spirit is an amazing way of communicating with the other side, and it's a way I use often, especially with my own loved ones that have passed over. Now this story starts when my nan died, and you may have read about this first part of the story if you read my book Heaven is a Real Place. When my nan died, I was obviously very upset, and I asked her to send me a sign, but I was very specific on the sign. I asked her to send me a sign that she was okay on the other side and that she was happy and that she got home fine, so to speak. And also I was specific in the sign that I asked for it to be 2 yellow roses. So I went to my uncle's house where my nan had been living, and just before the funeral, and almost soon as I got there he gave me the funeral booklet for my nan. And the next couple of days, well, I was in a bit of a daze, and I was looking for the 2 yellow roses. I went to another uncle's house and he had a yellow rose bush in the front garden. And I thought, oh wow, it's not a coincidence, maybe that's my sign. But it didn't feel like the sign. It wasn't 2 yellow roses, it was a rose bush with more than 2 on it. And even though it's a great sign, but it just didn't feel like that was the sign. So I continued looking for the 2 yellow roses, thinking at the back of my mind, well, I can always use that sign that she got there okay. But it didn't feel quite right. On the day of just before the funeral, all my cousins and a lot of my family members they didn't have the little funeral book on them, and they was asking me questions like, what time is it? So I was taking this funeral book in and out of my bag for a couple of days, and I was still looking for the 2 yellow roses. On the day of the funeral, I took the book out, as I had done quite a few days, and for the first time, just as we was about to enter the funeral at the church, the first time I noticed that on the front of the book, my uncle had a picture placed of 2 yellow roses. So that image had been there that whole time, and I'd taken it out of my bag and had it in my hands and looked at it, but I had never noticed the 2 yellow roses because there was a picture of my nan above it. I'd always been looking at the picture of my nan, and I hadn't noticed the 2 yellow roses underneath, and I took that 100% as my sign that my nan was with me, even though my uncle had prepared that before I asked for the sign. That's the way spirit worked. That is the amazing ability that spirit have, and I was meant to see that just before I was walking in the church, because it was my way of it was Nan's way of saying, I'm with you, I got home okay, I'm not in that church. Since then, I was able to communicate with my nan on many levels, but one of the levels was using the sign of a yellow rose. So one day I had a very important decision to make about my spiritual career, and I wanted spirit to guide me, and I asked my nan at the night time, I specifically asked her, look, if this is what I'm going to do now, if it goes in with my vibe, if it's the right thing for my destiny, if this is where the path is supposed to lead me, I'll put myself 100% into this, but can you just help me confirm this by sending me a sign? And I wanted the sign to be a yellow rose. It didn't have to be 2 yellow roses, but just a yellow rose. I went to bed that night, and the next morning when I woke up, I got ready and I went down to my local bar for a coffee, as I do many mornings. When I got there, I ordered my coffee. I was just stirring the sugar in my coffee, and the waiter, who I've known for a long time, for what seemed like no reason, but obviously was a massive reason, he pulled out of a vase of red roses. He pulled out a yellow rose and handed it to me, and he said, there you go, that's for you. So this wasn't even 12 hours after I'd gone to bed, and I'd now had in my hand a yellow rose. That waiter has never before or after given me a rose, and in that pot was full of beautiful red roses, and he decided to give me the yellow rose. That was Nan's way of saying, yeah, I'm with you. That was her way of confirming to me that that was the right thing for me to do, and it was in my vibe, and it was going to work for me. And now at some time, I don't know if it's a year, maybe 2 years has passed, a year and a half, but since that's happened, I took that advice, I went forward, I put myself 100%, and I can see now how that was one of the best decisions I ever made. And I made that decision based on the sign from my nan. If I wouldn't have got the sign, maybe I wouldn't have had the courage to move forward with that. Although my vibration was saying it was a good thing, the risk was so big. So that's the way I work with the sign language of spirit. First of all, I'm very specific in the question that I ask. You know, if it's in my vibe, if this is the right thing for me, if this is in my destiny, please help me, give me a bit of encouragement for me to move forward. Because I'm human like everybody else, and even though I'm a medium and I'm a tarot reader, I have the same fears as absolutely everybody. So, and the second thing is, I don't just ask, give me a sign. I ask for a specific sign. So it may be a yellow rose today, and tomorrow it may be an elephant or blue grass or a butterfly. Anything that comes into my mind, I will ask as a sign. And if I see the sign, I work with it. If I don't see the sign, then I take it as a way that, you know, spirit may be telling me that although my ego wants to do this, although I'm really excited about this, that I want inside me wants to do this, maybe it isn't the right thing for my spiritual path. And they never ever fail me, ever. Whenever I've asked for a specific sign and I've received it and I've worked with that, it's always been the right thing for me to do. It's about being in connection with the spirits that I've loved and lost, and they still want to help me from the other side, and me being open to let them help me and to guide me, and asking them. Asking is a really good way to communicate with your spirit loved ones, is to ask them, talk to them, say to them, is this in my vibration? Is this the right thing for me? You know, and ask them for a specific sign. So that's a small little example, my yellow roses. And this still happen even now with my nan, but I also ask for different signs as well. But amazingly now, if I need my nan for anything and I haven't asked her to help me in a life-changing decision, but I just need to know or just want to know that she's there, I will see a yellow rose, or will be given or presented with a yellow rose in really strange ways. And I know recently I was very upset, I was crying, it was a very bad time for me. One of my animals was very sick. And on my Facebook, somebody had posted a massive bouquet of yellow roses. And it may seem really crazy to anybody else, because if it's a sign, it'll feel like a sign. That bouquet of yellow roses probably meant nothing to nobody else except to the person who posted it, and to me. Because to me, it was a confirmation that, okay, you're in a really bad place, but Nan's there, and she's looking out for you and for your pet. So, recognizing the signs is a really important thing, and like I said, it only is a sign if it feels like a sign, and a sign will mean nothing to nobody else except to the person who receives it. So today it was just a little short story on one thing that's happened to me, and I'm going to be including loads and loads of these little spirit signs and the sign language of spirit in my YouTube video. So if you do like these little videos, press like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll be seeing you very soon, and thank you for watching.